to tell you about today's sponsor, Authentic Health. So, what is Authentic Health? Authentic Health is a health and wellness company dedicated to creating products that will help manage your body system the way it was designed. Co founded by doctors Gus Vickery and Troy Jackson, both MDs. These are products that have been developed based on their thousands of patients they've seen in their own clinics to address these nutritional deficiencies. They have developed a foundational supplement stack that involves three supplements. That's F1, F2, F3. Foundation 1, Foundation 2, Foundation 3. Get it? And here is what you can expect. F1 is your essential nutrients. F2, these are your essential fats. And F3, this is your essential amino acids. So let's start with F1, your essential nutrients. What this is a water-soluble powerhouse. It's meant to enhance cellular pathways and address common deficiencies with a blend of B vitamins, antioxidants, absorbable magnesium, and shilajit for better nutrient delivery. Boost your immune system and energy levels for maximized performance. Then F2, Foundation 2. This is the fat-soluble optimizer. Optimize cell communication with essential vitamins A, D, E, and K. This unique formula includes a highly absorbable omega-3 blend, phospholipids, and CoQ10 for enhanced cellular function and peak performance. Finally, there's F3. If you know anything about me, I've talked about this all the time, that essential amino acids, they have become my desert island supplement of choice. Dr. Gus Vickery and I, we did a podcast a while back where we decided, okay, if we're stranded on a desert island, what's the one supplement you'd want to take? Now, at that time, I said I wanted my creatine. I wanted my 5 grams of creatine every day. Dr. Gus said, you know what? For me, it's going to be essential amino acids. The reason being is because you can still gain protein synthesis even though there is no caloric intake. So it's crazy. We need essential amino acids. And here's the thing, too. You cannot get essential amino acids from your own body. We do not synthesize essential amino acids in our body. So we've either got to get it from our food or from supplementation, and F3 is how you're going to get it in this stack. Even with a balanced diet, many people lack essential amino acids. F3 provides a targeted blend to support muscle building, healthy joints, the proper hormone and neurotransmitter function. This stack is meant to universally get people to a baseline. This is not going to be a cure-all. It's not a panacea. But what Dr. Troy Jackson and Dr. Gus Vickery have created with the foundational stack is a way to basically address the universal deficiencies from the environments we live in, the food that we eat in this modern society. This is kind of to get you to that baseline of nutrients. If you're someone who doesn't eat all organic, this stack is for you. If you're someone who just drinks tap water all the time and you don't have a reverse osmosis system, this stack is for you. This is to help you combat this. Unfortunately, look, I want to say this the right way. We live in amazing times. We have more luxuries, more food in abundance than we've ever had. But the problem is it's a double-edged sword. We also live in a very toxic environment, and you need to figure out ways to defend against that. Here's another thing that this foundational stack is going to do for you. Go look in your pantry. If you're someone like me who uses supplements, then you probably have 25 different bottle caps in your pantry or in some acrylic container in your kitchen that drives your wife crazy. Well, guess what? You can get rid of a ton of those lids because what Dr. Gus and Dr. Jackson have created is a powerful, potent blend of the most essential nutrients that you need for optimized health in this 3-capsule stack. So with that, go to shopauthentichealth.com. That's shopauthentichealth.com. And if you get the complete foundational bundle today, you are going to save 15% by bundling F1, F2, and F3. Check it out, shopauthentichealth.com. And now back to the show. Let me tell you a little bit about today's guest, Erika Hanafin Feldhus. She is the CEO of Hello Mamas, a membership community dedicated to supporting every mom's success by empowering them with the tools needed to thrive in all aspects of life, and of Hey Mama, a community of over 75,000 moms in business with events and programs impacting over 400 million. She empowers all moms at home and in business through leadership, mentorship, and collaboration. This was a great conversation. I had such a blast getting to know Erika through this interview, and I know you are going to enjoy it as well. Thank you so much for listening. Enjoy the show. Erika, I got to tell you, I would say welcome to the Jason Wright Show, which I will say welcome to the Jason Wright Show, but I think I'm also going to release this on the Healthy CEO podcast. So you're going to get double exposure through the Texas Titan Media Network, because I think that the things we're going to talk about will fit on both platforms. So welcome to both of the shows.
Well, I appreciate that, Jason. Thanks so much for having me.
You are very welcome. I told you I'm really excited about talking to you because, and okay, so the people that know me and listen to the show and know mine and Jimlin's business, they know that I am my wife's biggest fan. I adore my wife. I know every husband should adore his wife, but I mean, she is literally my hero. And so when I heard what you were doing with Hey Mamas and really promoting the idea of what moms do who are also business leaders and kind of appreciating the challenges that moms have, the unbelievable skill it takes to be a good mom and the work that's involved. I was like, you know what? I've got to meet Erika. So I'm so excited to have you.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And it's so true. I mean, moms are incredible, right? Tina Fey said it best. Moms can do the impossible every day. So I'm happy to be here, and congratulations on everything that you and Jamilin are doing.
Well, I appreciate that very much. And you know what? So let's just go ahead and digging into your history. Now, I noticed that you went to Fordham, which is pretty cool. So you spent some time in New York, right?
I did. I'm a Jersey girl, actually. I was born and raised in New Jersey, and went into Manhattan as for college, wanted to stay there. My son was born there. I never thought I would leave New York City, actually. It's like in my blood. And here I am now sitting in Virginia Beach, which I also have to say I love, but I think that's also because it's a 45-minute flight to New York that I get up there every week, or at least every month, if not sometimes twice a month.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and just completely abuse the privilege of having you on my show and get to you at some point. So my youngest daughter is living in Manhattan, and she, but whenever she first graduated from the University of Colorado, she flew out and she wanted to start out in New York. So she started in Jersey City, because she couldn't afford to live in the city.
Love it.
And
Right.
now though, she's moved into the city. She lives on Wall Street. She actually works on Fifth Avenue right next to Trump Tower. That's where her office is. And she loves it. And we're in New York at least. I've been 6 times this year. We're in and out all the time. We love the city. Actually, Jimlin and I have thought about getting a place there. So since you're only 45 minutes away, I'm going to have to buy you coffee sometime and introduce you to Abby, my youngest, who again, I adore, and I'm so proud of both of my girls. They got great heads on their shoulders. I'm just very blessed. And I would love for her to meet you because I'm always trying to round up good mentors for them.
Oh, I would be happy to. I mean, mentoring's a passion of mine and something that is a core value. So I'd love to meet, and if she needs any support along the way, happy to help make some introductions wherever I can as well. But that's a great area. And I'm actually a firm believer that everybody needs to live in Manhattan for at least 3 months. You can't just visit. You have to live there for 3 months because you understand the hustle. Everybody's in the hustle. The energy, it's that old school energy where you're all working together to do, the impossible. And you don't find yourself in the touristy areas. So kudos for her to take that leap and get into the city.
And you're so right about that. It's one of the things that when she came home this last Christmas, so she's been there, it was a year it'll be a year, I guess, this next month in August that she's been there because she graduated in May and took the job last August. And so when she was home for Christmas, she said, it's so weird just how decompressing it is. I mean, we're in Texas. We're in Tyler, Texas. It's a mid-sized city. It's a big leap from Manhattan. And she was like, it's just crazy, like without the noise, without just the bustle. And then she's a writer. She's an aspiring writer. She works in wealth management right now, but ultimately she wants to write. And she said, I've come up with a great title for a book about New York. I'm going to call it, you can't cross your legs in New York. She said, because everywhere the tables are small, on the train you're crowded,
Mhm.
but she loves it.
Mhm.
And I'm so proud of her because just exactly what you said. She and her boyfriend, they take advantage of this time of life. He's playing tennis over at USTA. He's played at Arthur Ashe, and she's always out going to cool places. One of my dear friends that's actually been on the show, a guy named John Henry Crawford. He's a cellist that he played Carnegie Hall for the first time, and got him
Mm.
tickets to that. And they go to plays. I mean, they do the city up right. And I don't know how long they'll be there. I mean, the cool thing is she says, I'm in no hurry to leave. I love it. I don't know that I'll be here forever, but they really enjoyed it. And it's cool for Jimlin and I because, like I said, we love the city. We're there all the time. We've actually thought about getting a place in the city just because we are there so much and enjoy it. And I'm a little envious of her getting to live there and truly do it day to day. I mean, it's
Yes.
grind, but it's been such a great growing experience for her. So yeah, it's worked out really cool.
For sure. In fact, two things. One, I had a short stint from New York to San Francisco. I say that San Francisco is what really did me in, and that's why I'm in Virginia Beach. But I recall working with somebody in San Francisco, and I was like, you know, I just can't get in on this energy, right? I've got almost 2 decades in startups, and San Francisco is like the startup capital of the world, right? And I just couldn't get into it. And she said to me, Erica, New York City has this energy that is very grounding. You're walking, you're in it. Everybody gets on the subway if you live it. You're doing all of these things together, and that's why when something happens, New Yorkers all rise up together, right? In San Francisco, she's like, you're on a fault line. You are literally sitting on a fault line and it's shaky energy and you're going up and down and you're up and down. And I realized very quickly that that's not the energy that I want to be around, and that, that grounding energy. And so being able to experience that is so great. And the second thing is we'll meet at Yankee Stadium because you have to go to a Yankees game. I'm a
Yeah.
Fordham girl, Bronx. And my son, who was born in Tribeca, and I always used to joke, I'm one of four girls. I used to joke that I wanted boys, right? But I always used to joke that I'm not a baseball mom. I went to hundreds of Yankees games, but I'm not a baseball mom. So wouldn't you know, a month ago, as summer, and he's playing outside with his friends and everybody, he says, Mom, I want to play baseball. And I'm thinking to myself, unless you're going to be a Yankee, I'm not really sure this is your sport, but certainly encouraged it. And we'll see. I mean, he's got a great hit, but it's always funny because you've got to go to a Yankees game. You've got to experience the Bronx and Little Italy if you like food. It's a completely different world than what you would expect.
100%. Well, that sounds like a deal. Okay, so there we go. We've got a family date at a Yankees game.
There we go.
No, that sounds fantastic. All right, so now let's talk about Hey Mamas and your background, how this started. It's such a cool thing you're doing. So just kind of give us the genesis of what inspired you to start to not only be a mom and a business leader yourself, but to inspire and encourage other moms to do the same. Where does all this begin, Erica?
You know, it begins. I've grown up. My grandmother is very fortunate. I came from a family of successful CEOs. My grandparents started a startup in their garage, like a traditional startup, right? That ultimately grew into a global business and ultimately was sold to a public company. And my grandmother in the late 70s, early 80s was the CEO. And to me, that was so fascinating. Like I had, of course, my mom was always devoted and did all of these things with all four. I joke to her now, I'm like, I don't know how you raised four girls all within 7 years apart. Like it's just crazy to me. But I just had this female energy and this empowering of being a leader and being a woman. And well, I'm not a founder of Hey Mama. It was something that was always passionate of mine, was supporting women. And when I became a mother myself, I unfortunately didn't have a maternity, and I loved my career and I wanted to just continue to empower more women. And we joke that I've had the fastest career at Hey Mama. I've been there now for almost 4 years. And Hey Mama is a membership community. We have over 75,000 moms that are our core mission is to help accelerate their business, and along that is empower them along their motherhood stages, right? So we know that running a business can be isolating, and entrepreneurship can be isolating, and building communities is front and center to what we do. And we do that by offering certainly a digital platform where all of our members can connect with one another and network, and we have conversations that are going off every every second, quite frankly, where they're asking for, how do I find my next accountant? How can I market my business better? I'm thinking about fundraising. And on that, right, we see this data that women get less than 2% of VC funding. That was a stat that was in 2021. It hasn't changed. We're in 2024. It's even less for moms. Because moms are bucketed into that. And so how can we help accelerate mom businesses while also providing them with the support and the collective wisdom that we all can share together and rally around? And oh, by the way, our members have raised over $20 million in funding within our community. I
Wow.
mean, that is incredible. That just talks to how supportive having a community is. We say at Hey Mama, networking equals net worth. It's imperative to be able to find connections, build connections, network, but also feel confident and comfortable because of this shared vulnerability that we all have as moms to ask for help, which is something that moms very rarely do, right?
Mhm. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Now, let me ask you this: Are you? Here's the thing that I think is kind of troubling, and this is one of the reasons why I was so excited to talk to you. I feel like there is, societally speaking, it's almost like, and look, there's extremes where you've got this one idea that you know women to decide to pursue a family and have a child and be mom is somehow lessening her potential. And then there's others that are like, no, you should be all in, only thinking about mom. What you seem to do is say, hey, it's okay to want to be an entrepreneur, be successful, exercise your business talents, but also it's okay to be a mom. And here's how you do both of them well. Um, do you find that there's a lot of women that want to that I want to be a mom, but I don't want to give up on my business? And is it lopsided one way? Like I really want to have my business, but also want to have children and have that family too. And
Mhm.
what are some of the ways that these moms overcome what I would think that would be an unbelievably stressful dichotomy? I mean, running a business is no easy task, and heaven
Sure.
knows being a mom is so tough. How do you help them kind of prioritize and work out that tension?
I mean, could you imagine what we're telling our sons and daughters, particularly, right? Like, you have to be in this box. You have to go through this idea of you go to school, then you graduate from school, you find a job, then you become a family, right? It's either that, or to your point, you got to just focus on your career, or you got to focus on your home. And it doesn't have to be like that, but it also doesn't mean that it's always going to be in balance. And I firmly believe, and we have an initiative at Hey Mama, it's called our Motherhood on the Resume campaign, that becoming a mother actually made me a better leader. I have an innate, I say, I believe that I was innately born to be a leader. I'm the oldest. You look at all the studies and the books that you read, and, that was part of my act of service, right? But becoming a mother made me more empathetic. It gave me more patience. My negotiation skills went through the roof, right? Like negotiating with a toddler before bed when when you're asking them to brush their teeth, it's the hardest thing to do in the world. So that's a training ground for leadership. Think of these businesses and the leaders that we want to have in our world that now understand these fundamental leadership skills. And so I firmly believe, and we do at Hey Mama, that motherhood is a training ground for leadership. We created a campaign in 2021. We actually started it in 2017, but it really gained a significant amount of momentum in 2021, where we called to action all of our community and members and beyond that to put motherhood on their LinkedIn profile.
Yeah.
And do you know now LinkedIn has a field where you can put you're a parent, right? Or you took time off to become a parent. And so you'll see on my LinkedIn profile, proud mom. My team, we've normalized these conversations, right? If I have to go and want to go to a baseball game, gosh, that's going to be forever. But, if I want to do that, then I can do that and I can still work or I can still take a call here and there. But, um, it's not a box thinking and mindset, and think about all of these incredible skills that mothers bring to the table, from project management. I mean, I could go on for hours about all of these things. So I do hope that by normalizing conversations, by demonstrating that you can have a business, you can grow in business, you can start a business, but you find the community that can support you is so invaluable to your success. And it's totally doable.
So I think that's I just I love this concept. I love the idea. Let me ask you this. Do you think, and again, I haven't been in the quote unquote corporate world in years and years. I've been doing startups and same thing. I'm entrepreneur. And so I haven't been in that environment in years. Do you think there's more that the corporate America, for lack of a better term, and I don't mean it has to be a publicly traded
Mhm.
company, but just a larger organization, are they more sensitive to mom workers and mom leaders? Are they trying what's the environment like now? Or is it going to take people and leaders like you in your community helping these organizations understand the dynamics of how to support moms that can be rock stars in their business, but they also need to be a rock star at home because they're raising these children to be tomorrow's leaders? What's the environment like now as you see it?
It's very interesting. I definitely think it's the latter. On that same initiative, our focus was on empowering more moms to return back to work after they took time off to become a parent. And that could happen within 2 years, or it could happen, 10 to 15 years later. It doesn't matter. You're still experiencing these leadership skills and probably along the way becoming an advocate for something else, whether it's philanthropy or fundraising or whatever it might be. So that's where we initially started. The last 2 years, I think certainly pandemic helped create more awareness as what goes on in the home, right? And for whatever that is, it brought to front and center more, in my mind, family values. Um, Beyond that, what that means is more companies definitely need to learn how to speak to moms. And what I mean by that is look at the way that their job descriptions are worded. Does it incorporate some words like, flexible time off or ability, maybe there's a childcare stipend or, these things where you can create a better organizational culture and environment. And by the way, hire a devoted employee and who also happens to be a mom. Um, so we are seeing that trend where we are doing a little bit more thought leadership with organizations. Interestingly, we have a number of information around. We did launch a momternship program in partnership with Mullen Lowe, who is a PR agency, part of IPG. And in that time, we recognized, we purposely got newer moms and moms who might have had a career first and then took time off, more later in later stage. Interestingly, it was split on the different values that they all brought to an organization. The newer moms, were a little bit hungrier, but they, certainly overexcelled in different areas. The more, I would say experienced moms brought really interesting perspectives. Well, that's really interesting. I can't believe that trend started, when I was there, we were doing this and it changed to something else. So I say that because at the end of the day, creating opportunities for moms to succeed is fundamentally what we need to change, and we need to change that narrative, and again, normalize all of these opportunities for more moms in business.
Do you think that in the community, have you seen that, or let's say that a mom decides that, you know what, I've tried to do both, and essentially I want to devote myself full time to the household for now, but I know I'm probably going to want it once my kids are out of the house, for example.
Mhm,
That's where I can see there could be a real, and we see that in some of the hiring that we do, it's like you have this mom that was, a marketing executive, an attorney, or something like that, and decided to,
mhm,
I'm going to shut it down, and from like, I don't know, fifth grade through graduation, I'm going to stay at home and I'm going to raise the children. I don't want to practice law anymore for a while, but then they graduate and they want to get plugged back in. Are you working with some of those moms who they are literally shifting to be a mom for a while, but they don't want to give up their potential career? And also, and the reason why I ask that question is I think that, again, anecdotal, my view, talking to my daughters, it seems like there I know from my girls, there's this idea cropping up against young women that um they shouldn't even want to contemplate the idea of being a mom, stay at home, even for a while, that's somehow limiting them on their human potential. And so I would think in a community like yours, it would be supportive of both, where you're not just
mhm,
you're not talking about the single cat woman that's just career obsessed and that's all she cares about. She's going to be barren her whole life and climbing the corporate ladder and stomping on the throat of every man and woman as she gets to the
mhm,
top, which is so extreme. But at the same time, it's like everybody kind of looks at all the one that wants to stay home and only wants to have kids. But instead, there's just this community of, hey, we're all human beings with different goals, and we're going to walk through this together. And we're going to support each other and navigate. Do you see that there's kind of a good mesh of both of those people? Because it seems to me like it was really disappointing. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of babbling here, but I really want to work this out for somebody like you who's obviously put a lot more high level thought into it. Whenever I see girls limiting themselves or women limiting themselves, either way, as moms, as professionals, as a dad of two girls, I want my girls to know that they can go out there and crush it however they want. That's all I want. And I'm going to be there to support them. And obviously, I want grandbabies myself. So I'm going to encourage procreation as well. But either way, I don't want them to feel those limitations. So do you find that these women come together and they're able to kind of dispel some of the myths on either side of that argument?
oh my gosh, 100%. That's so loaded. There's so many things that we can dissect in that.
And if I said anything
Um,
stupid, feel free to say, you dumbass dude, you
no,
don't know anything about
well,
women. I can take it. I really am from a good place I want to be a positive force on these topics.
well, I love that, and I can speak from experience that that's so critical, and how blessed your daughters are to have a father who promotes that. Growing up, it's my favorite story. My dad, I'll never forget. We were all sitting together at the dinner table, and he comes home from work and he traveled a ton. So it was like when he was home, we were home and we were having dinner, right? And I couldn't even tell you what prompted this, but the next thing that he said was he was talking about something, and all of a sudden he just stops and he looks at all of my sisters and I and my mom. And his joke was, I have five women and a dog named Lady. No wonder why I'm so gray, right? Um, but he says, he gets on this tangent and he's like, there is nothing a man can do that a woman can't, except pee standing up. And wouldn't you know, we proved him wrong the next day, right? Which was made my mom, really happy. Um, but it's true, right? What are you doing in that instance? You are supporting that ability and that motivation to feel that they can be empowered to do what it is that they want to do. And whether or not that is having a successful career, or by the way, being a mom is a job, right? And that's a whole nother conversation that we could have for another day and a half on the motherhood burden and how much, that's a $200,000 job, right? So for sure, there's different elements to that. The second thing I'll say is, we at Hey Mama, we were recently acquired. We were acquired by a private equity firm, and as part of that, we are launching a parent company. So hot off the press, Jason, is we are building. Myself and Amory are co-founding a new company called Hello Mamas, which will be our parent brand for Hey Mama. And what Hello Mamas focus on is a community that's dedicated to supporting every mom, whether they are a mom in business, whether they are stay at home or planning. We are supporting them along their entire motherhood journey by creating a collective, again, built on a foundation of empathy, inclusivity, and fun, that supports every mom wherever they are so they can thrive in all aspects of their life. And why is that so important? Because now this is a much bigger conversation. We're talking about access. We are talking about access to opportunities, access to like-minded women, access to the ability to have digital. Think of it as the next level of Facebook groups for moms, right? You're not siloed. You don't tap out when you're on a different phase, but we are able to provide that support that you need along that journey, whether you're contemplating becoming a mother, and then you become a mother, and then what happens next. So all throughout that journey, and then should you decide that you really are want to focus on your career, guess what, we have Hey Mama that's part of that, right? So we're creating an ecosystem for moms, all across the world, that is grounded in this opportunity to provide access and inclusivity. And certainly it's a delicate balance navigating career and the crucial role at home. It's certainly something that we should all come together on. And there's moments where you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to do this, or I want to think about this, or hey, can I bounce this off of you? How great is it that we can be able to be the provider of all of that?
I think that's fantastic. Hey, as you go down that road, if I can ever be of help now, Whitney Hurd, the founder of Bumble, she's actually a customer of
Yeah.
my wife's. She's married to a guy, a Tyler boy, and so we've had a front row seat of watching her build that business, and totally different space, but it's been cool. And then Cecil and Lou, which is a two awesome moms, Blythe McCain and her sister-in-law. They have it's one of the greatest success stories of two entrepreneurs that I've watched firsthand. And so there's so many. So I've had, and again, working with Gemlin in our children's boutique, I see a lot of moms, so a lot of them that are crushing it as entrepreneurs and doing some incredible things. And so, as well as, and so I just am including my wife in general. So as this grows, keep me in the loop. And if there's anything, that's what
Oh,
I
100%.
love to play the role of connector, especially with nothing, asking nothing, in return, just watching cool people get together, you know, banding together to do amazing things. And so if I can ever support you in that, because I'd like to see some of this local talent that we have here in this space. These again, some just like my wife's mentor. Her name is Bridget Hooper. One of the most incredible success stories ever. I mean, just built an amazing business by the sweat of her brow, working her ass off. And so it's just cool. I've got, and my mom was an entrepreneur. I got to brag on her a little bit. So my mom, who
Yeah.
raised 4 kids, She helped my dad build his business, and then essentially she was his bookkeeper and decided to get a real estate license. Her first year, she became the top producer in the office and then ended up buying the company. I'll never forget when she came to me. She said, I think I want to buy the company that I've gone to sell for. And I helped her kind of figure out how to negotiate that deal. Well, then now she's since sold out to my brother, who was her business partner. But that was not until she had built that office that she had first bought into the largest real estate company in that area, and then opened like 8 other offices and just killed it. Was an incredible entrepreneur. So kind of like you, I've had a front row seat, be either through family or through just this ecosystem that we have here in East Texas of these amazing women that have done cool things, that I just anything I can do to help in that regard. And what you guys are doing, I would love to have these ladies plugged in, because I want what you're doing. I want that here. I'm selfish,
Yeah.
and for my daughters, it's the same thing. I want them to know that there is a place they can go, that to kind of drown out the noise of cultural commentators, of what they might hear in school, and kind of this tribal
Hmm.
mentality of pick a side, to just truly come
Hmm.
together with women that are having success in home, in business, doing cool things. I would love to be a part of helping bring all those people together. So keep me
Oh
posted.
my gosh. Well, I will definitely take you up on that for sure, Jason. And super grateful for that, because it is, we need to continue to support as many moms as we can. And, while we do have the digital aspect of, and for Hello Mamas, it will be a native app, but while we do have all of that capability and functionality, there is a huge proponent to being able to get together IRL and feeling that connection. And so a lot of what we do at Hey Mama, and we will continue to do within Hello Mamas, is bring women together so they can experience, and that ripple effect is so powerful. I'm just coming back from New York. Actually, we just had our huge Strong Like a Mama event in New York City, and I still get goosebumps. Like, it was so monumentally powerful on everything that we did. Our theme was You're Worth It. We talked a lot about self-worth, self-compassion. We had incredible speakers and all of that. And the more that we can continue to do that all across the country, the better. So I will certainly take that up, and hopefully we can bring one to Taylor, Texas as well.
Let's do it. Well, all right. So I want to kind of put you on the spot. I want to hear a success story. I want to hear about a mom that comes to mind, maybe that has just crushed it, that came into the community, and you've watched us flourish as a mom, as a business owner. Do you have any, and if you don't want to like leave everybody else out by naming one, you can say, nah, I don't really want to do that. But I just want to hear like kind of, and you can also make up a hypothetical. Here is kind of the avatar mom slash business leader that comes into the community, and here's what she's going to find, and here's what we're going to do to rally around her and help her find success. Even if she's got success, she can find even more success as a mom and a business leader. So make it hypothetical, make it a real life case study. Either one. I just kind of like to get the nuts and bolts of how people plug in.
Oh my goodness, there's so many. I think that what is really powerful is we have a number of members that come in as they're starting their business. I get this on the regular, is finding, okay, I just partnered with, I'll use hypothetical names here. I just partnered with Jane, and now she's my co-founder. Or I was looking for a publicist, and now I partnered with another Hey Mama member, and I've been on every major news outlet across the country, right? That is what we see at Hey Mama. I'll give you some personal experiences. I found Hey Mama, certainly became, Hey Mama was a client of mine, actually. This was I mentioned almost 2 decades in startups, some successes and failures. And came in. I had just come off of a third exit, and came in, and I mean, how could you not want to be part of this incredible community? And then personally, I went through a 2-year divorce, and I was so, as an entrepreneur, you're like, gosh, that's like failure, right? And that was how I took it. And everybody has their own things. And I'm showing up, I'm traveling all across the country to meet with our members, and we're at this one event, and I just look at everybody, and it's one of my favorite events. It's called our Mindful Moments. We do these all across the country. We bring in no more than 20 women, usually at a member's home, and we do intentional networking, and there's usually a mindfulness modality to kind of ground us all in the same space. And then we go around the circle and everybody shares either an experience, a challenge, or something, you know, that they want to give back, right? An ask or a give kind of thing. And what comes out of that is beyond, right? And I'm looking at all these women, I'm like, how could I lead this organization and not stand up for myself? And I told everybody, and it was so freeing. And then I can't tell you how many people were like, "Oh my gosh, I'm going through this as well," or "My sister," or this. Like, talk about the support. We're here on business, but that's a personal aspect that certainly affects business, right? And your home. So that is the power of community. I will say we do, you know, Hey Mama does have an application. It is a little bit exclusive in that regard because we do want to make sure that we're bringing in women who are supporting women. And so, whereas Hello Mama is more accessible, and we won't have an application process. But these stories happen every day. You know, we just, I mentioned Strong Like a Mama. We brought in 10 of our kind of OG members, if you will, and they were all part of our you know, our leaders for that night, our Hey Mama ambassadors for that night. And they all got to share their experiences. And it was like, when I came to Hey Mama, I was just learning how to do my bookkeeping, and I needed this. I mean, and now they sold, or now they're on to their third business, or now they've gone through all of these different a pivot or whatever it might be, or maybe it was now I'm working for Facebook or Google, right? Like it doesn't matter. You don't necessarily have to be an entrepreneur to be part of the community. um, that is the power, and those are the stories that we get, and we highlight those stories every week. So every week within our platform, we do have part of the conversation is, share with us who you're partnering with, or share with us these stories, and we put them in our newsletter on a weekly, and it's so cool.
I think that, okay, now I'm going to do some just bad generalization, slight stereotyping, but it's with a it's meant as a compliment. I think women are much better at in your groups. I could see women coming together. You talk about bookkeeping. They're trying to figure out. I just got this payroll tax issue. I don't know how to do it. I can see women come together and being like, "Hey, let me help you." That I had that same problem, and being much more open and willing to say, I'm screwing this up, girls. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Can somebody help? And everybody be okay and kind of rally around. Whereas dudes, like right now, I'm going through my first startup from scratch right now. And one of the things that dudes do is we don't want to admit weakness. We'll sit there and just beat our heads against the wall and try to until we figure it out instead of just going to now I've gotten better, but I'm also old. I'm 49 and I don't give a damn what anybody thinks about me. If you think I'm smart, think I'm dumb, I don't care. I just want to get the job done. And it's also from coming from a very fixed mindset to much more growth mindset in older age. But I think most dudes, or a lot of dudes, are like that. We're so afraid. I can see where this would be not only a great benefit within the ecosystem of the meetups and the groups that you're doing and having the partners and mentors, but to take that into the workplace to be able to say, hey, we're sitting here talking in circles. Has anyone thought about just asking an expert on to get the help? I would think that that would be an incredible benefit for these women to get together. And just naturally, it just seems like women are much more willing to not let their ego get in the way on these things, and just say, hey, and so you bring all that collective wisdom and talent together with the openness of being willing to ask.
Mm.
I gotta think that's just remarkable for fast tracking these entrepreneurs that are trying to figure things out for the first time. That's got to be incredible.
It is. And you know, you're right to an extent. Because I will say that what is fascinating is women do lack a lot of confidence. And in that, sometimes, and I don't know if it's societal pressures or, you know, foundational, whatever it might be, but we see that 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 lack of confidence in many cases shows up when you become a mom. Then you're like, oh my gosh, you know, think about it, I don't even have time for myself, right? And so then naturally moms don't show up for themselves.
Yeah.
You know, if I have to choose between going to, in many cases, and we try and like do anything we can, you know, if I have to choose between going to a Hey Mama networking opportunity event or you know, take my son to baseball, 9 times out of 10 I'm going to take him to baseball, right? And if I use my voice to say, no, you know, networking is really important to me, I'm really looking for help on this challenge, I really want to see if I can connect with so and so. Once you get there, right? But it's a reciprocity. You have to do the work to be able to get to that next level. And yes, so once we're through that early messiness of it, and then we come together, everybody, I mean, every single person I have been with that has gone to any of our intentional networking opportunities has left there and is like, I can't believe this is what I've been missing. I can't believe I didn't show up for myself. I can't believe I didn't do this. I'm gonna commit to, you know, trying to go to more, or I'm gonna commit to going and joining in on your roundtables discussions that are virtual and you can do while you're sitting in the car line, right? So we've used a lot of those learnings to make sure that not only we are providing you with access to an incredible group of like-minded women, but we're also trying to make that process easy, right? So you can do it in the car line. You can, you know, ask for something or look for help on these instances and feel okay asking. But we have to cross that first kind of hurdle, if you will. And you know, there's a reason why we say on the airplanes, right? Put your oxygen mask on first. Moms don't put their oxygen masks on first all the time.
You just, that's the exact analogy that came to mind is in those instances where a mom is trying to make herself better and stronger for the sake of the young men and young women that she's raising, then that needs to be a part of the calculus. And I think that is one of the things that gets overlooked. Now, I got a tricky question for you. Is there any outreach or inreach or whatever for the husbands that might be like, you know, is this a thing where you've got some husbands probably that are going, oh crap, another hey mama meeting, god, you're going to come back, you know, and be just you know, whatever, or is it like kind of, hey, bring your husband in so that they can know how to best support you? I mean, like I said, Jimlin's lucky. She's got blessed with the most supportive husband on earth, but not everybody can be me. That's just, you know, that's just the way it is. No, I'm being
But
sort of, but anyway, so is there something there to make sure that the husbands, and I want to pick up a little bit on the divorce thing too, because I think that's very important. I've been through that, and you know, that's a whole tricky animal on its own that I gotta believe for women, there's a whole lot of circumstances there that are different than men, just you know, by the numbers. But on this one, let's just stay with the marrieds for a little bit. Is there some sort of is there ever any, not networking, like invite the husband, but do you guys talk about, all right, here's how you communicate and help your husband understand why you are getting involved with this ecosystem, what the message is, to just to kind of make that a more of a healthy partnership on the whole endeavor?
you know, no. I can't tell you how many times we get, oh, any meeting. I can't tell you how many times I'm like, oh, well, you know, we should have a hey dad, right? Or a hey father or hey papa, whatever you want to call it. And in, again, not to generalize here, but we are, right? Is that why you go play golf, You can go play tennis if that's what you're going out, March Madness, you're sitting there filling out your bracket for 3 hours, talking about who knows what. You men also have opportunities that are there all the time. And usually it's, I'm going to go here and you're going to, and the mother is going to be the one that's going to put the kids to bed or what have you. And so, do I not, do we support opportunities? We've had investors that have been men. In fact, the private equity fund that just recently acquired us is an incredible father. And he's been investing in women, particularly interestingly, mom dominated spaces. So, are we not recognizing those opportunities? No, but I think that what is most important is just across everything that we see is, there needs to be more opportunity for mom to be able to make those decisions. And certainly maybe it is worth us exploring having a training, if you will, or something, or
with mothers and husbands as well. I don't know, but currently we do not have that.
Yeah, and that's cool. That makes perfect sense, everything you said. I know that especially young, not dads, but young husbands. Let's say you got the just marrieds in there. Look, it takes a while. Or I mean, you and I, or we've been married for a number of years, and we just know it takes a while for both the man and the woman to gain confidence, to gain footing that, okay, we're really in this thing together. And nothing scares a dude like, and those youngers, like now, if Gemma said she was going off to a Hey Mama event or some entrepreneur event or whatever, I'd be like, sweetheart, get after it, go crush it, and let me know, if you need me to drive you to the airport. But again, I'm 49. I've been at this for a while. I've raised 2 adult daughters, and those young dudes, I could just see an opportunity where they'd be like, or is everything okay? Are you coming back are you going to come back different than the person I married? Good, bad, or indifferent. It's on the dude. That's his problem. It's his insecurity. I'm not saying that the wife owes that dude anything for his insecurity, but I could see that the good side of this is I could see a woman coming home, and this is a different you. And some guys be like I love the fact that Gemma is such an independent, she married me because she loves me, not because she needs me. And I love that about her. But a lot of dudes, I could see them be like, are you still the same person? Are you the same but better? And so that they could better support her. I think I could see dudes, and again, I'm trying to speak as that former young insecure male, and going, oh gosh, and so there's no downside, I think, at all for that, for a woman to get involved in something like this, and she doesn't owe it to the guy, because he does. He goes, and I think that it's weird watching this generation. Actually, my youngest that I mentioned lives in New York. I mean, half the time I call, she's doing her thing, and she's quite content to be doing it. She's going out with friends, and Lachlan is off playing golf or playing tennis or doing something. And Jim and I are both like, is that healthy? Is that good? And I'm like, and I take the approach that, yes, it's fine. They need to have their independence, and I said, and if Abby called me and said, gosh, Lachlan's never around or whatever, or if Lachlan called me and said, Abby doesn't want to hang out with me or anything, okay, that's a problem. But that's not what they're doing. They're living their own lives. And so I think that what you guys are creating is an incredible positive space for these women to go and to better their skills. I just know how pathetic some of us young dudes can be. I guess that's it. I know how bad we can be in that regard. So anyway, that's the only reason why I brought it up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. We see a lot of data looking at the next generations to come, and what that's sharing, particularly when it comes to the household, is they're looking for partners who are, almost 50-50, right? And want this division of labor, not only outside of the home, but also inside of the home. And I think that's important. And to have those conversations now before you get into it, certainly from speaking from experience there.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Here's the thing. Good, bad, or indifferent. To me, what makes it awesome, what you guys are doing, is this is the reality that we face in 2024. Bottom line, where for a lot of reasons, there is more of a more equal split in the division of labor and all these things. And it goes back to what I was saying earlier. I get concerned when people tribalize in one camp or the other and forget that they're and don't deal with reality. You know, that's what we so often do is we want to project the world that we want as opposed to dealing with the world that is. And I think that this is one of those spaces where the reality is my daughters, they both told me, we're going to have careers. We're going to do, we want to be, they're traditional in their values. They want to get married. They want to have children, but they also want to have careers. That's the reality. So to try to tell those girls that, nope, you are not going to be in the workforce. You're going to stay at home. You're going to raise babies. That's not dealing in reality. The reality, and so how we can now make this a healthy space, I think that's what you guys seem to be creating. Of you're dealing with reality, and you're not saying that. Again, I don't want to be pessimistic. I don't want to be cynical, but I do get frustrated when I see anyone out there discredit a mom and that choice. And I can't, because I fully respect if you don't want to have children, okay, I get it. And it's not for me to judge, but you know, it is kind of important as far as perpetuating society that moms are there and moms have children. And so I think for you guys to offer a space where, you know, Scott Galloway, who I love, Scott always says, you can have everything you want. You can have it all. You just can't have it all at once.
Right.
And what you guys are doing is you can't have it all at once, but you're making it so that when you decide that you're going to work or when you're going to stay home, you're going to build the bridge to kind of stitch all this together. And also, I love what you've done with just bringing out the fact that being a mom is absolutely worthy of a LinkedIn note, of a highlight, of a resume. It's 100%. I was about to record an episode of The Healthy CEO yesterday, which I was talking about what a healthy CEO is, and I talked about. And by the way, moms, this includes you. You absolutely, everything I'm about to say, to the entrepreneur, to the leader, just because you're working in the home, that does not mean everything I'm about to say about health and proper sleep, proper nutrition, all this stuff does not apply to you, probably to you more than any of the others. So that's just a long way of saying I love what you're doing. I love the fact that we can have a positive conversation and you're creating a positive ecosystem for the leader, the outside the home leader mom. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. 100%. All right. So let me ask you this. Where can people find Hey Mama? Well, how do we support you? And then Hello Mamas, is that ready to get behind yet? I mean, how do we get involved with that? And how does this audience support what you guys are doing?
Well, you can certainly follow Hey Mama and Hello Mamas on all of our social, all of our handle, Hey Mama Co. and Hello Mamas on Instagram, Facebook. Join in the conversations there. Hello Mamas is coming in the end of September, so certainly stay tuned. So best to follow us there on social for those exciting opportunities to kind of get in first and get in early. And then for Hey Mama, certainly at our website. And hopefully Jason will be able to put all of these details in show notes so we can certainly send a unique opportunity for all of your listeners to join in the conversation. And I personally would love to see all of your moms join, and I can DM them on the Connect platform.
100%. All of it will be in the show notes. And again, anything I can do to support you guys. Again, even if you need a bumbling, stupid dad with very good intentions of supporting his wife and two daughters, whatever, to come and offer any help, support, serve drinks, whatever, whatever I can do. And anytime you have anything new coming out, or I'll also offer this up. If you have any of your mom entrepreneurs, leaders that they've kind of gone through the journey and they have a good story to share and they start wanting to kind of make the rounds, and if it gets them publicity for things they're working on or whatever, use my platform. Tell them, say, hey, you need to get with Jason. It's a friendly environment. He may say some stupid things, bless his heart, but his heart's in the right place. The platform's open. Okay. I mean that.
Well, I love that. Thank you so much. We'll certainly put that in our Women in Media opportunity.
All right. Well, Erika, thank you so much for joining us. Now, wait, one of the things before we go, I'd be remiss because this is one that I should have asked, but I don't want to get away from this because it's a special circumstance. I said I wanted to talk a little bit about the divorced mom out there and the extra challenges. I know I've seen that. I went through a divorce with the girl's mom, and we're very good friends. We're very good co-parents, but she ended up pursuing hardcore. She's a CEO now and was a stay-at-home mom the entire time we were married by her choice. It wasn't because I'm not, whatever. And so I've watched that kind of play out. For the mom that might be listening right now that has never worked outside the home and is divorced or has worked outside the home, but there was more of a split of the labor in that regard. What do you tell that mom, and how can Hey Mama kind of help her work through that unique deal that I know that you said, you've walked through yourself? Because I know that's a special circumstance.
It really is. I'm a firm believer it takes a village. And I'm incredibly grateful. I wouldn't be sitting here today if I didn't have my village around me during probably what was the hardest time of my life. Not really, certainly for me, but more so seeing my son go through that. But you need a village, and being able to be part of a community that wants to champion your voice, wants to champion wherever you want to go, whether that's through certainly either accelerating your business, whether that's through mentoring, whether that's through any type of collaborations that we possibly can. Take a look at certainly Hey Mama and for sure Hello Mamas when we launch, because that is a huge space. And I'm navigating this as we're going, right? So it's certainly something that's not only top of mind, it's something I'm living and breathing every day.
Got it. Well, we've got some friends that are kind of going down that road right now. And so I'm absolutely going to point them your direction, because we want to, Jimla and I always want to be supportive and helpful in that regard. So that's good. That's good. Good to know. All right. Well, with that, Erika, thanks so much for being on the show. This was awesome. I love this conversation.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. Well, that does it for this episode of The Jason Wright Show. Thank you so much for listening. This has been a Texas Titan Media production. Fourth Wall did the music. And as always, thank you so much for listening. Please consider going out to jasonwrightnow.com and signing up for the Vitruvian letter. Also, please go out to iTunes. It takes like 30 seconds to just leave us a 5-star rating. It does wonders for the podcast. I would be so grateful. And with that, until we meet again, go crush it and endeavor to improve always in all ways. I'm out.